Hey dears, welcome to my channel. I am Priya Karnagaran. Hope you all are doing well, and today's video is gonna be about the administrative law. In this video, we will see the definitions, nature and scope of administrative law, sources and reasons for growth of administrative law, and difference between administrative law and constitutional law. In my upcoming videos, I will be discussing all the concepts under administrative law, and in between I will also make videos on other law subjects too. So subscribe to my channel and tap the bell icon, then only you will get a notification while I am uploading the other concepts. So let's get right into the video. So first we see what is administrative law. It's a system of legal rules which regulates the legal relationship between individuals and public authorities. The main goals of administrative laws are to protect the public interest through administrative activity and to protect the individual rights, principles, procedures, judicial review. So these are the two main goals of administrative law. So with that, I am moving on to the next topic, that is definitions of administrative law. So there are a lot of definitions of administrative law. Here I will discuss only a few important definitions of administrative law. Let me see one by one. According to Wade, he defines administrative law as a law relating to the control of governmental power. And according to Casey Davis, he defines it as a law concerning the powers and procedures of administrative agencies, including especially the law governing judicial review of administrative actions. And according to Ivor Jennings, he defines it as a law relating to the administration. It determines the organization, powers and duties of the administrative authorities. And then according to Jane and Jane, it tells that administrative law deals with the structures, powers and functions of organs of the administration, the limits of their power, and then the methods and procedures followed by them while exercising their powers and function, and then the methods by which their powers are controlled, including the legal remedies available to a person against them when his rights are infringed by their operations. So the next is nature of administrative law. Administrative law is a branch of public law in contradiction with the private law, which deals with the relationship of individual interest. So this law primarily deals with the relationship of individual and organized power, and further it also deals with the organization, powers of administrative and quasi-administrative agencies. And administrative law includes the study of existing principles and also the development of certain new principles which administrative and quasi-administrative agencies must follow while exercising their powers in relation to individuals. It is the principles of natural justice, reasonableness and fairness. So these are the natures of administrative law. Then we move on to the next topic, that is the scope of administrative law. In that, the law determines the organization, powers and duties of administrative authorities. The emphasis of administrative law is on the procedural aspect of formal adjudication. Its concept founded on the following. The first one is principles of natural justice, and the second one is rule of law, and third is power is conferred on the administration by law, and the next one is no power is absolute or uncontrolled, howsoever broad the nature of the same might be. And then there should be a reasonable restriction on exercise of such powers depending on the solution. And then since it's a judgment law and evolves over time, there is a room for modification. While the basic principles remain the same, the scope is wide enough to incorporate and call out the new rules and regulations to suit the requirement of time. So these are the scopes of administrative law. The main source of administrative law in India are as follows. The first one is the Constitution of India. India has a written constitution which is supreme law of land. All legislative actions of administration have been expressly brought by the constitution within the purview of Article 13 by defining law as including order, bylaw, rule, notification, etc. having the force of law. All these features of this constitution influence and shape the nature and content of administrative law. So the next one is statutes. Statutes is the principal source of administrative power and it emanates from the constitution. Under the constitution, lawmaking power has been given to the parliament and state legislature. Administration is given powers by statutes. And third one is ordinances. The ordinance making power relates to the legislative power of chief executive in union and states. Article 123 of Constitution of India, which deals with the legislative powers of the president, empowers the president to promulgate ordinances during the recess of parliament And Article 213 of the Constitution confers a similar power on the governor to promulgate ordinance during the recess of the government. So I give the case law for this ordinances. R.C. Cooper versus Union of India, which is also known as the Bank Nationalization case. So the fourth one is delegated legislation. Lawmaking is a primary functions of legislature. A good deal of legislation is made by the administration under the powers conferred by the legislative. This type of administrative legislation is called as a delegated or subordinate legislation. The delegated legislation is subject to the judicial and parliamentary control. In this way, delegated legislation is an important source of law. And fifth one is case laws. The basis of Indian administrative law is judge-made law. The new principle laid down for guidelines for the future course of action. And then sixth one is reports of committees and law commission. And seventh one is administrative quasi-legislation. So these are the main source of administrative law. And then next topic is reasons for growth of administrative law. The first reason is concept of a welfare state. As the states change their nature from laissez-faire to that of a welfare state, government activities increase and thus the need to regulate the same. Thus this branch of law developed. And the second reason is inadequacy of legislature. The legislature has no time to legislate upon the day-to-day ever-changing needs of the society. Even if it does, the lengthy and time-taking legislating procedures would render the rule so legislated of no use, as the needs would have changed the time the rule is implemented. Thus, the executive is given the power to legislate and use its discretionary powers. Consequently, when powers are given, these arise a need to regulate the same. And the third reason is inefficiency of judiciary. The judicial procedure of adjudicating matters is very slow, costly, complex and formal. Furthermore, there are so many cases already of suits, it's not possible. Hence, the need for tribunals arose. And the fourth reason is scope for the experiment. As administrative law is not a codified law, there is a scope of modifying it as per the requirement of state machinery. Hence, it's more flexible. The rigid legislating procedure need not be followed again and again. The next topic is difference between administrative law and constitutional law. A constitution is the supreme law of the land. No law is above the constitution and hence must satisfy its provision and not be in its violation. Administrative law hence is subordinate to this constitutional law. In other words, while constitution is a genus, administrative law is a species. Constitution deals with the structure of state and its various organs. Administrative law on the other hand deals only with the administration. Constitution touches all the branches of law and deals with the general principles relating to organization and powers of various organs of the state. Administrative law deals only with the powers and functions of administrative authorities. Simply speaking, the administrative authorities should first follow the constitution and then work as per the administrative law. And that's it. Thank you. Hope you all get an idea about the concept that we have learnt in this class. So please take notes or screenshot. It will be helpful for your exams. If it was useful, give thumbs up to this video, and if you have any doubts, please comment it down. I will clarify your doubts.